I was blindsided.
Now, we invited Joe Carcello onto the program to sit here with you. He declined our offer, but we do want to show you a little piece of an interview that we did with him last week right after your announcement that you were resigning. This is Joe Carcello talking about this issue.
I hear her point. I think she knew, based on previous conversations, that we were looking very, very seriously at outsourcing the function, which if we had done that, Richard would have been terminated. Maybe not in the same fashion, but he still would have lost his job. And based on our conversations around outsourcing, there seemed to be some hesitation, seemed to be some preference for keeping the function in-house. So once that became clear to me, then you start thinking, well, what's the alternative? The only other alternative is to remove him from the position and do a search for another internal person.
So Joe Carcello is saying, based on this conversation about outsourcing, you should have known intuitively, I guess, that the whole issue of Richard Walls was pretty much almost a moot point. Mm-hmm. You agree at all with that?
No, I do not agree. I believe there is an ocean width of difference between someone losing their job because it's been outsourced and someone being terminated for inadequate performance.
Well, now, you're an accountant. Let's talk about Richard Walls and his performance, because you feel like he was railroaded in this whole process. Or am I characterizing that correctly?
I haven't used the word railroaded, but I do not feel as though he was treated fairly.
Was he given, a lot of people argue that he was a bit between a rock and a hard place when it came to his job. He worked on behalf of County Commission, but County Commission had to be very careful that they didn't point him in a direction that would seem political, and yet when he didn't move in that direction, they complained that he didn't do enough work. So I don't know that I would want to be in Richard Walls' position in that job.
I agree. He had a very tough job. He was one of the criticisms, one of the reasons that it was stated that his performance was inadequate was that he was not auditing the high-risk areas, and in particular the trustee's office was mentioned. Now, I know as an auditor myself, we do risk assessments and we do our best to determine where the risk areas are. Sometimes you don't know there's a problem until it happens. Right. We don't have a crystal ball. We're always second-guessing ourselves to make sure we're looking at the right area. But the one important thing I think that should be noted that maybe hasn't been brought out is that the audit committee charter, which is where the commission gives the audit committee its authority, assigns a responsibility to the audit committee to review and approve the audit plan. So the county auditor at every meeting, that's 2 meetings, that's 6 meetings a year, meetings every 2 months, provides his audit plan, which states the audits he's done, the audits he's working on, and the audits he plans for the future. Every member of that committee has the responsibility to look at that. If they don't approve of it, they need to speak up. So I think part of that burden lies on the committee. If people felt as though the audit committee needed to recommend that he audit the trustee's office, committee members should have spoken up.